Hi and welcome to Yoga with Ilona. I'm Ilona, and in this video I'm going to be taking you through a full body yoga flow for all levels that focuses on heart openers and a few back bends. This is a great practice for anybody who wants to move their body and connect with their breath. The heart openers are great for helping us feel more joyful and more confident in ourselves, because we hold all our self-belief and confidence in our heart and chest area. So we will begin in a comfortable seated position. This can either be cross-legged or in a low kneel if that's more comfortable for you. Just make sure that you can lift up out of the pelvis, and then that you're not having to round your spine or arch your back open. And join me in closing your eyes and connecting with your breathing for a few moments. Begin breathing in and out through the nose, drawing the air down into your belly and then bringing it up into the abdomen and chest, and then exhaling from the belly first, then the abdomen and then the chest. Try your best to slow your breath down as much as you can and extend out the exhales so that they're really long and calm. Keep your mind focused on your breath. If other thoughts come in, just gently let them go and return your attention to your breathing. Take this time to connect with your body and your breath and your yoga mat. And with the last couple of breaths here, you might choose to set an intention for your yoga practice. I always like to choose to stay connected with my breath and allow myself to be totally present. And now, keeping with the breath, begin to gently roll your shoulders backwards a few times, and then you can switch direction and take them forwards, keeping the spine nice and straight. And then turning the head from side to side, dropping it over to one shoulder, and then moving it over and dropping it towards the other shoulder. And now bringing your head back up to a neutral position. We are going to take the elbows in line with the shoulders in front of us and press the palms and the forearms together. Keep the shoulders nice and down. And then as you breathe in, spread the arms wide, making a cactus shape. And then exhale to round the back and touch the hands together again. Inhaling, open. Exhaling, close and bow the head. And inhaling deeply, spread the chest wide. Exhale, bow the head, round the back. And two more. Inhaling wide as you can. Exhale, feel that stretch down the back of the neck. And one more, open. And then we'll exhale to bring the hands back down by the sides and just roll the head a couple more times. And now make your way into a tabletop position and sink your way down into child's pose with the hips on the heels. You can take the knees quite wide apart here to give your lower back some space. And have a little wiggle in child's pose, seeing how your body feels. And then we are going to walk the hands over to the right side of the mat. Feel that stretch down the left side of the body and in the outside of the left shoulder. So tenting the hands so that you feel that length all the way down the left side. And then with an inhale, stretch all the way over to the left side of the mat. So taking the hands to the left side of the mat, and you'll feel that stretch move down the right side of the body. So try and keep the hips square here and just feel the stretch down the right side. and then bring your hands back to center. And as you're ready, take a deep breath in to come up to a nice strong tabletop, and then float all the way into a cat spine. Exhale, sink back to child's pose. And we'll try that again, inhaling round up and curl straight under into a cow spine. Exhaling round all the way down to child's pose. So this is just like your regular cat-cow, moving through the two movements, but then sinking all the way down to child's pose with the exhale. So curling up one more time, open the chest forward in your Chakravakasana, cow pose. Exhale, sink down. And just rest in child's pose for a moment. And then make your way forward to lying on your belly. And we are going to just rest our head on one side for a moment before bringing the elbows at a right angle to come into Sphinx pose. So you might want to take the elbows slightly further forward here to make the back bend less strong, but it's important that you're just pressing the shoulders down on the back and opening the chest forward. And then take the hands wide apart and sink down to the mat. And then as you inhale, lift up once more. So this is like a really wide cobra pose. And you're going to inhale to come up, exhale, flow all the way down. You should feel a really great stretch across the fronts of the shoulders. And then this time we'll sink the right shoulder down towards the mat to feel a stretch across the right shoulder, the front of the right shoulder. And then sink down in the left shoulder, keeping the elbows lifted and the palms of the hands spread wide to feel a stretch across the front of the left shoulder. And then gently rest back down onto the mat. And then as you're ready, you're going to take your right foot in your right hand. So bending the right knee back so that you can grab onto the right foot with your right hand, and you'll feel a really great stretch in the front of your hip and your thigh. And then you can switch sides, turning the head to the left side as you grab onto the left foot with your left hand as well. And then with the next breath in, you can take right and left foot with each hand at the same time. If that's enough for you, stay there. If you want to take this into a back bend, bow pose, then you can take the hands on the insides of the feet and open up into bow pose. You're going to do this by kicking the feet into the hands, grabbing tightly onto the feet with the hands and opening the chest forward. Don't take this too far if you haven't tried it before, but by all means give it a go. And on an exhale, sink down to rest on your belly. Just bringing the legs to straight and the arms down by your sides. Allow your spine to become neutral again before making your way up into a tabletop position with the toes tucked under. Find a nice strong core and spread wide into the hands before lifting the knees to come into a low squat with the legs, and then on an exhale, straighten out the legs to find a really strong extended downward facing dog. And you can walk out the knees in downward dog. Feel how the backs of the legs are today. And then you can take the right foot behind the left, so bring the toes behind to stretch out the back of the right leg, and then do the same on the left side. And now begin to tiptoe your way to the top of the mat, finding a forward fold with the knees bent. And you can interlace the fingers behind the back to stretch out the chest, or you can just grab opposite elbows and hang heavy over the legs. You could also try touching your hands to the mat. Explore your forward fold in a way that feels good for you. Now, if they're not already interlaced behind the back, take the hands and drop them over towards the floor away from your head so that you feel that great stretch across the fronts of your shoulders. With a slight bend in the knees, we're now going to gently bring ourselves up to a standing position, coming into a slight back bend using the hands, and then finding Tadasana with the hands in heart center. Take a moment here to return your mind to the intention that you might have set yourself at the start of the yoga practice. Connect back with your smooth, deep breathing and prepare yourself for a couple of sun salutations. Next breath in, you're going to take the arms forward and up, and exhale to fold back down to the mat. Inhale, come up halfway with the hands on the shins, and then exhale to fold again and then step back on the right foot, coming into a low lunge with the hands just either side of the left foot. And then on an exhale, step back to plank and breathe in plank. Exhale, come halfway down to chaturanga, and then inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a moment there, maybe one full breath, and then inhale to reach the right leg high and scoop it forward to step between the hands, coming into a low lunge on the other side, and then exhale, step to a forward fold, and then inhale, reaching all the way up, and breathe out to come back to heart center. Ready to go straight onto the next side by breathing in to reach up and exhaling to fold forward. As you breathe in, lift halfway, nice straight spine. Exhale, plant the hands, step back on the left foot this time and bring the left knee down for a low lunge. Stretch into that hip flexor and then exhale to step back to plank. Engage the core here, breathe in. Exhale, come halfway down, and as you breathe in, open up into a nice open upward facing dog. Exhaling, find downward dog. We'll go straight on by breathing in, lifting the left leg high and then stepping between the hands. Hard time stepping forward easily, I will link my video at the top of this screen showing you how to step forward from down dog to a lunge. Now step forward to a forward fold. Inhale, up, and exhale, hands to the heart. Taking a full breath in Tadasana before you get ready to move on. Inhale, spread the arms wide, touch the palms above you, and then exhale to a forward fold. Breathe in to halfway lift. Then as you exhale, plant the hands and step back on the right side once again. We're going to bring the right knee down and inhale to come up, taking the hands onto the hips, and tuck your pelvis down so your tailbone is pointing towards the mat. And then with your next breath in, you're going to lift the arms, coming into a slight back bend, keeping the tailbone driving down towards the ground as you open up through the chest, finding the back bend in the upper back, not just crunching into the lower back. Make sure to keep your chin tucked down towards your chest so that you're not taking weight in the back of your neck. Then on your next exhale, slowly bring the hands down either side of the left foot and step all the way back into a plank position, keeping the pelvis low. Exhale halfway down. Inhale, upward dog. And as you breathe out, downward facing dog. Straight on to the next side, lift your right leg high and then step it between the hands. Bring the left knee down and we'll come into that lifted low lunge once again, Rudrasana. So tilting the hips down square towards the mat before you inhale to lift the arms up and open the chest forward. Really enjoy opening the chest wide, creating space with the breath as you tuck the chin down towards the chest. Take another full breath in before you exhale to bring the hands down either side of the right foot and exhale to step to the top of the mat in a forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, touch the hands above you and exhale, hands to the heart. We're going to do that all again on the left side. So as you're ready, inhale, lift the arms high. Exhale, fold forward. Breathe in to come up halfway. And as you breathe out, plant the hands, step back on the left foot this time. Bring the knee down. And then once again, we'll square off the hips. This time come up seamlessly into your Rudrasana, spending a breath here. Find that opening in the chest and breathe fully into the front body. Ready to exhale and plant the hands down once again, stepping back into plank. Exhale halfway down and breathe in to come up, upward facing dog, downward facing dog. As you're ready, inhale to lift the left leg high, scoop it between the hands, bringing the right knee down one more time. Ready to come straight up into Rudrasana. Rudra is the storm god, so feel that fearlessness in this pose. Then take one more full breath in here, then slowly put the hands down either side of the left foot and exhale to step to the top of the mat in a forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, and exhale, hands to the heart. And then we'll just make our way to standing in the center of the mat, getting ready to come into a balanced pose. Find strength in both feet, then lift the right foot and grab it behind you with both hands, finding a stretch across the hip flexor and the thigh. Then we're going to take the right hand on the inside of the right foot and begin to kick into the hand with the foot without dropping the body too much forward, finding dancer's pose. Really spread down through the left foot, strengthening through the left leg, helping to keep you lifted. If you struggle to balance, find a point, a drishti, to gaze at in front of you, something that doesn't move so that you can focus your eyes and keep focusing on your breaths too, because when we hold our breath, we're less stable. Then get ready to gently come out of the pose with an exhale, bringing the right leg all the way forward to hug the knee into the chest, just to counterpose that big stretch across the front of the hip. And we're going to go straight onto the other side. So first of all, hug the left knee into the chest this time, then take it behind you with the left hand, grabbing onto the foot, and then begin to kick into the hand with the foot, kicking until you begin to feel it force your body forward, keeping really strong in the right leg. See if you can tip slightly further forward, feeling all the joy and confidence of a dancer. Ready to come out on an exhale by drawing the left knee all the way forward and hugging it back into the chest. Inhale there, and then come back to standing with an exhale. From there, we're going to make our way down to a low kneel on the mat. So just tuck your legs underneath you and sit down onto the heels. And here I'm going to show you two options to come into camel pose. The first option is to just bring your hands to your lower back and then rise up into a high kneeling position like I'm going to do now. So taking the hands to the lower back, and then rising up into a high kneel, we're going to inhale forwards into the chest, keeping the lower back really strong and the belly drawing in towards the lower spine, just finding an opening across the chest and tucking the chin down. So if this is enough of a back bend for you, stay here. But if you want to try a more advanced version, sink back down onto the heels and grab onto the heels with both hands. And then breathing in, you're going to lift the hips forward, coming into full camel pose. This is quite a deep back bend and requires flexibility in the upper spine so that you're not just crunching into the lower back. And here you're going to have to really breathe into the front body and keep focusing on opening up through the chest. Use your breath to help you find a full expression of this pose. And then as you're ready on an exhale, just sink back down onto the hips and find a neutral spine for a moment. Maybe gently arch the spine in the opposite direction, but don't take a deep forward fold just yet. And then exhale to come down into a really restful child's pose with your hands tucked underneath you to give your shoulders a break as well. Just take a few really nice full breaths into the lower back here, creating space in the back body. And then when you're ready, make your way to lying on your back with your knees bent. So plant the feet hip width distance apart and bring the hands down either side of the hips. From here we're going to come up into bridge pose 3 times, and then there'll be an option to come into full wheel if you are confident with that. So inhaling, come up into your first bridge by pressing the hands into the mat and lifting the hips high, and exhale, come down. And we'll come up again when you're ready. Inhaling, curl the spine up 1 vertebra at a time, lifting the hips, engaging the belly, drawing it towards the back to help support your spine. And then exhale, roll back down. And then for the next round, see if you can come into a slightly deeper back bend than before. So as you inhale, curl the spine up, and then to get a deeper back bend in the upper spine, you can interlace the fingers underneath you. If this is enough of a back bend and a challenge for you, then stay here. If you want to try full wheel, then roll your way down carefully, and you're going to take the hands either side of the head, pointing the wrist creases towards the top of the mat, and then press into the feet and the hands at once, lifting your way up into a full wheel position. In gymnastics, this is called bridge, so you might know it as bridge. Really opening the chest forward, and if you want to take it even further, you can try lifting one leg and then the other. Remember to keep breathing into the chest to help you find the back bend in the upper back as well as the lower back. To come down on an exhale, you'll need to tuck the chin towards the chest so that you can come down onto the backs of the shoulders first, and then walk your feet out from underneath you and gently and slowly roll down to lying flat on your back, or you can take the knees bent as well. Just make sure that you're creating space for the spine and not coming into a forward fold straight away. Maybe sway the knees from side to side if that helps you, and just take some deep breaths into the belly to find a restorative supine position. And then we will shift the hips over to the left edge of the mat, taking the knees over to the right side and then turning the head over towards the left. This is going to bring a gentle twist into the spine and help you to relax after some challenging poses. Breathe into the space where you feel the twist. And then as you're ready, come onto the next side by shifting the hips over to the right edge of the mat this time and dropping your knees over to the left. Turning your head in the opposite direction. Finding a position with the legs that helps the twist work for you. Breathing fully. Spend as long as you need to in the twist, pausing the video if you want to. But from here we're going to make our way into Shavasana, corpse pose, by straightening out the legs and taking the feet mat width distance apart with the hands down either side of the body, not in contact with the body. Make sure you're really comfortable here. Take a blanket if you need one, or a pillow under your knees if that helps your spine feel more comfortable. And then take a couple of full breaths before letting go of your attention on the breath and just finding a few moments of total calm, peace and relaxation. Now bringing your attention back into your body. You can spend as much time in Shavasana as you want to, pausing the video if you want to, but for now we're going to bend our knees and roll over to one side, resting on one side for a moment before you press into the floor with your hands and gently push your way up sideways to a seated position without taking any weight in your neck. Find a comfortable seat on your yoga mat and connect with your breath once again, maybe taking one hand onto the heart, one onto the belly, and finding some full, smooth breaths once more with a nice straight spine, feeling the effects of your yoga practice in your body. Notice how it feels different to breathe now than when you started. Now might be a good time to go straight into a meditation. So I'll link my 5-minute meditation video up at the top of the screen now. But for now, I invite you to bring your hands to heart center and bow your head slightly. Thank yourself for practicing yoga today. Thank yourself for your self-confidence. Namaste.
Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you enjoyed this practice and that it helped you to feel more confident. I post a new yoga video every single Saturday at 10 AM, so if you want to see more, please subscribe. It's completely free, and if you want to get notifications when I post, then just click that little bell next to it. Let me know in the comments what you would like to see next, and have a beautiful day. Goodbye.